What is his ceiling? So what is the best case scenario for Trey Lance this season? And that is that at the end of the year, a la some of our greatest, most iconic NBA images, he's holding 2 trophies, the Lombardi and the Super Bowl MVP. That's the ceiling. This Niners team, Brew, is ready to win right now. Greg, I don't like that face Greg's making. I thought Greg was going to be with me on this. I'm now a little skeptical.
I like it.
Hold on. All right, let me lay out the case.
Change your take right now.
Do we expect the Niners to make the
it.
playoffs? Yes. Do we expect Trey Lance to get better as the year moves on? Yes. Do we know the Niners, with that coaching staff and roster, are good enough to go on a deep playoff run with mediocre, if not below average quarterback play? Yes. So all those things are yes. So once you're in the Super Bowl, which the Niners absolutely could be, could Trey Lance have a great Super Bowl? Of course he could. Why couldn't he? Patrick Mahomes in year 2 would have had a great Super Bowl. He just got screwed by a coin flip. NFL didn't change rules for him, though, did they, Josh Allen? Neither here nor there. Point is, could Trey Lance do something similar to what Colin Kaepernick did? Take over for a steady veteran quarterback in San Francisco, be a dual threat, and all of a sudden they're a dynamic team? Of course. So I'm not predicting a Super Bowl MVP for Trey Lance, but that's his ceiling. A Super Bowl MVP, of course.
All right, look, America, don't get it twisted. Don't let Nick Wright skew your views on what I think of Trey Lance. Just because I have respect for Jimmy Garoppolo's ability to win doesn't mean I'm not pulling for Trey Lance. Nick, I am pulling for him. All right, I hope the kid's successful. I hope he has a great career and does wonderful things in San Francisco. He's got a great coach. Kyle Shanahan offensively can do some things with him. So, like his physical gifts, all that. But no, I am not with you. I am not the least bit with you. Despite my feelings of pulling for Trey, there are conflicting reports about how strong he's been in training camp and in the offseason. And call me crazy for being skeptical that a guy who last played the bulk of his football at North Dakota State, and that a few years ago, and only played 1 game his last year, is going to step right in to the NFL in his first year as a starter and be terrific. I just don't see it. And then I read this quote from his QB coach, first-year QB coach in San Francisco, Brian Griese. Here it is, Nick. If I can get it on the screen. I've been really encouraged. Okay, that's good. Like I said when we talked the last time, he gives himself a chance because he shows up every day and he's ready to work. He has a humility about him that gives him a chance to learn from his mistakes and grow. I've been really encouraged about his demeanor. That's impressive for a young man his age. That's not natural. Let's break down this quote. If somebody asks me, what do you think of Nick Wright? What's it like to work with Nick Wright? And I said, he shows up every day. He's there. Okay. You can count on Nick being on the set on time every single day, and he works hard. He does work hard. If that's what I said, and then if I went and said, you know what? He's humble too. So since he's humble, he learns from his mistakes. When he makes these mistakes, he learns from them because he's humble. And then I start talking about his personality, and he's got a great personality. I really like his personality. Yeah. Wouldn't you be a bit skeptical? Nothing about great takes, nothing about knowing all the statistics, nothing about knowing the history of the game, none of that. I'm just, he's a nice guy, and he's there every single day. Always there. Wouldn't you be a bit skeptical, Nick Wright? Yes, thank you. So call me crazy for reading between the lines and seeing that it ain't all gravy in San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah, but
I almost want to drive in reverse and address Chris's last statement, but Nick, yours was so just ridiculously out there. Even if it is ridiculous that you put the emphasis on ceiling America. We're talking about his ceiling. That's not me. His ceiling is It could be that. It won't be that. He's going to have. If I were to put a ceiling on Trey Lance, it would be, you know what? He's like an airplane in bad weather, in good climate as well. There's going to be some turbulent moments. There's going to be some moments where he can just cruise. Yes, he's going to have some heights, and he's going to have some people that are looking and watching and along for the ride. Like, what just happened? That's going to happen. He's a rookie, basically, essentially a rookie quarterback after not playing hardly at all last year. There is going to be a ton of learning curves. But let's address Chris. Chris, if you are my quarterback coach, and you're not my quarterback coach, if you are the quarterback coach and you played in this league, you understand the pressure that quarterback has to take on. Why would you set your quarterback up for failure? So when I read that sentiment coming from Brian Griese, you're not going to put additional pressure on your first-year quarterback. You know he's going to have every microscope on him, every news media outlet talking about him, dictate or challenging any and every perspective that he takes on the field, how he performs, analyzing, overanalyzing everything. So I'm not going to be one of those either. I'm going to tell him and encourage him in the ways that I know best, which is in-house, in his face. And when I talk to the media, I'm just going to give him bland answers. I'm not going to put any seasoning on it at all. I'm just going to give him straight, bland answers. Right. He knows how I really feel about him. So for that, his ceiling, he's going to have some high moments. He's going to have some low moments. But, Brew, the quarterback coach, when you have a talent like that, you know what you got.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, Greg, I want to ask you a question. Because we expect improvement from
Greg was waiting to get me back.
That rookie quarterback class, right? Mac Jones is going to play better. Trevor Lawrence is going to play better. I think Davis Mills is going to play better. Justin Fields is going to play better. But they all were able to get a lot of reps last year, and Trey Lance didn't. So what is going to be the easiest thing for him to sort of make a mistake and say, all right, I can fix that? And what's the easiest challenge, and what's the hardest challenge to get over as we go into this next year?
Well, I think for him, what's going to be great and going to bode well for him is the fact that this team and this Kyle Shanahan, he understands how to put guys in the best situation. That's just what he does. And they're going to run the football. He will run the football until you stop it. So what that does is it allows for him to have one-on-one matchups, because defenses are going to have to flood the box with 7 guys. That means you have one-on-one guys. You're going to see clearly what's going on in the secondary. So picture's going to be clear for him. I think when it comes to young quarterbacks, you talked about it. The more repetitions that you get, the more you see something over and over again, the quicker you're now going to respond to it. That's the one thing you're going to see with the other quarterbacks you mentioned. They're going to start responding a little bit quicker. They're going to be moving a little bit at a faster pace. Trey Lance didn't get that opportunity last year, and so I think he's going to have a little bit of a growing curve other than the other guys that you mentioned.
Yeah. I understand that, but I also understand that the NFL over the last decade has evolved to where guys in year 2, if they're going to be stars, very often show it. Mahomes played none at all. He showed it. Wentz didn't even end up being a star, almost won MVP in year 2. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl in year 2. Colin Kaepernick played less his rookie season than Trey Lance did, didn't play at all the first half of his second season, and went to the Super Bowl in year 2. So I trust the evaluation. And by the way, I just want America to understand, Brew, who's rooting for Trey Lance, who likes Trey Lance, has built a case against Trey Lance that is based on Colin Cowherd's training camp observations, the Niners social media team showing a clip from a backup quarterback rather than Trey Lance, and a positive quote from his quarterback's coach. And Brew, it should be noted, just in fairness and disclosure, and if you want to respond, go ahead. When people ask me, what is it like to work with Chris Broussard, I say, man, he's one of the best people I've ever met. Great father, great husband. And then I walk away. So, like, take that for what you will. That's what I say. Like, what's it like working with him? I'm like, he's a great. Have you seen his King conferences? They're amazing. And that radio he does with Rob Parker is really a good listen. That's what I say. So I think I'm giving you a compliment. You think I'm insulting you?
That would be a little jab, and you know it. But Greg jumped on me for my just dissecting the quote. Is it too much to ask that he's really reading the defense as well? I'm surprised at how quickly he's picking up the offense. Give me a little football stuff. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking him to say he's going to lead us to the Super Bowl and be the Super Bowl MVP or comparing to Patrick Mahomes like some people. But let me answer the question, Nick. Here's my ceiling for Trey Lance. Average statistically this season. We're on an average quarterback in the NFL statistically, and they get to the playoffs. That's my ceiling for him.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.